Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you all know, I'm Lexi, and I have my beautiful baby Gigi with me today. I'm gonna share a story with you that not too many people know. I don't know. It's not like I'm embarrassed about it, but I don't go and tell everybody my business, but I guess today I am. I did not get my driver's license till I was 30 years old. And yes, you heard me, I did not get my license or really drive until I was 30. And now that I drive, I'm honestly mad that I waited that long. It was not what I had in my mind, that it was this big scary thing, and it just wasn't even that. It's crazy how natural it came to me when I finally started driving. So I just want to share my story because maybe it can help other people that I guess have that fear of driving and that fear of just getting ready to start it, because let's be honest, driving is scary. It's freaking scary. You're driving this big metal machine down the road. I have to trust that other people know what they're doing. And again, let's be honest, not a lot of these people are the best drivers either. You just start trusting each other and you get in an accident. I mean, yeah, it could be something a little minor. You get into an accident, it's that could be it. So I just, when it came to driving, I was scared. And I just was I don't want to be in control of something. And you're probably wondering, Lexi, how did you literally make it to 30 without driving? Okay, anyways, how did I make it to 30 without driving? I honestly have no freaking idea. Luckily, most of my teen life, I had a best friend that drove. He loved driving. He drove us everywhere. He made me drive on 2 separate occasions, and those were the scariest moments of my life, but he was good. He literally drove us everywhere, so I had no issue with that. Both my parents drove. They had 2 cars. They really didn't care. And then once I moved out and with my kid's dad, my husband, it was really weird, but he grew up in a household where his mom never had her license. So me driving was honestly the norm for him. But my husband never cared. He took me and my son to every appointment. He would sometimes go on his lunch break because he worked during the day at first, or he'd take the day off. And then later on, he moved to second shift, so we had the whole day open, and would be able to take me to any place I needed to go. And same with my son. That's just how it was for the longest time. I don't know. It didn't really bother me at first. I just was so used to it, and I liked it that way. But then after a while, I didn't really start not liking it until I finished college and I got my degree, and I started looking at jobs, and every job that I wanted to do, you had to have your license, and I tried to avoid it, but it was just there was no way around it anymore. So I ended up finally going to get my temps. I would all the time get my temps and just not drive. But this time I got my temps when I turned 29, with the intention of sometime that year, getting my license, or at least working up the courage to drive with him in the car. Because I wouldn't even do that. He'd take me to an empty parking lot and I would do that sometimes. But I just felt so much anxiety, I just avoided it. And then, I had my first security job at the casino, which they did say you needed your license, and I straight up told that head of security, I didn't have my license, and she just said, well, then you're just not gonna drive, it's totally fine. And I just felt so relieved. But then, leaving that job and getting the one at the hospital, I wanted to apply and just take a chance. So I did. I knew that you had to have a license because I seen there's security vehicles out and about, but I just decided to go for it. I had my temps and maybe I could work towards my license. Well, I went to the interview, I gave them my temps, and everything was good. Everything was fine. They never said anything about it. They just said they wanted to make sure I could get covered by their auto insurance. So I'm just thinking everything's cool, like everything worked out, you know. My second day at that job, literally, I had to get trained on driving the vehicles, and my heart just dropped. I just felt so much anxiety. I was shaking. Luckily, my trainer, he was like, I want to drive, you know. And at first, the hospital is a pretty big campus, so I thought, okay, I'm just doing the parking garages and parking areas, because they had so many. There's like 4 or 5 different like parking areas. So I just thought, okay, driving around the hospital, you know, it is what it is. I'm with someone else, so it's technically fine, and you know, everything's gonna be fine. Nope, no, definitely wasn't. Still, their job, you didn't have to just drive around the hospital. You had to literally drive around to their other affiliated places around the hospital. And where this hospital is located was like one of the busiest roads in my city. It's so congested, it's so crazy. In my head, I'm just like, please don't ask me to drive, please don't ask me to drive, like I might have a stroke right here and now, like. Outside, I'm just talking to him, laughing, having a good time, putting on the front that everything's cool. On the inside, I'm shaking, I'm freaking out, I'm like frantically texting my husband, like, I don't know what to do. Somehow, I literally just got out of it. I did not have to drive at all. He drove like the whole time. That post, luckily, it was super popular with the older people at the job, so I never got assigned it after the training. Because let me tell you, when I see my assignment for the week, my heart would drop. I'd be like, please do not put me on exterior. But I knew it was only a matter of time before I absolutely had to get my license. Like, I was going to get found out. There was just no way around it. And after about 3 months is when it happened. I remember because I was going to give out some candy, and everyone was talking about how they wanted everybody to be certified so they would be able to run background checks for the cops there. And I was like, that would be something great to do, and they encouraged me to do it because I ran one of the dispatch centers a lot, so they was like, you know, this would be great for you to do. And you know, I give them my temps. I don't say anything. I just thought, you know, if there was a problem, they would have said so by now. No, I was wrong. It's very wrong. I got a call from the director who was like, yeah, funny thing is, you don't have your driver's license. I wasn't gonna lie anymore, so I just owned up to it. I said, no, I mean, I have my temps, I'm working on it, and it just sort of like, it's part of the job, you know. I couldn't work anymore. I couldn't be on the schedule anymore because I had to have that license, so I literally scheduled the driving test for 3 weeks from then, and it just was a mess, okay? I crammed in so much practice driving, like forced myself to drive. It was so uncomfortable. I knew I wasn't gonna be ready for that test. I felt so unprepared, and I truly was. Yes. I had no business taking that test, and I tried to rush it, and it turned out like it wasn't horrible. Like I failed by so much. And then there's a new law where you had to take driver's ed if you fail. Yeah, so I had to do a stupid driver's ed class, and the job basically said, hey, we can't hold your spot, so you're just gonna have to reapply when you get your license. So that was that. I cried. I was very angry. I was mad at myself mostly. I was mad because I just was like, hey baby, how are you 30 years old and you don't have your license? I was just so disappointed in myself. It was unbelievable. To be honest, that was a really hard time in my life because I had so much anger toward myself. Just like, how could you let yourself get this far in life without a license? Like, Okay, sorry, I had to switch it up. Both my kids were not happy up front, so now we're in the backyard. But anyways, the point is, I didn't give up. It got extremely discouraging, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get my license because I failed the test like 3 times at this point, and I was unsure. I didn't know if I was gonna make it. But on my 4th try, after like 3 months, I finally got it, and it was the proudest I've ever been of myself because literally my whole life I accepted that I wasn't gonna have a license. I accepted that I wasn't gonna drive, and I just told myself, like, hey, you have to just accept that. That's just who you are. You're not gonna drive. You're never gonna have your license. And so it just felt amazing when I finally had it. Like, I can legally drive. You know, there was also a point where when I was 30, I just was like, I'm too old to even have my license. And that was a lie too. And that's the thing, is you can't believe these doubts and these lies because they'll stop you from doing what you really want to do. If I would have listened to those doubts, I wouldn't be where I am today. You know, you can't listen to them voices or that little person inside you that tells you no, because you can't let your fears hold you back. Because I don't think you'll ever really be truly happy if you have those doubts and that what if that sits in the back of your mind. Because I know that was me. I just thought, you know, why not? Why can't I try it and just see? And yeah, it was hard. It was freaking hard, but I did it, and now I'm here and I have my license and I drive all the time and I'm not scared anymore. I love it. I feel so free and I have this sense of freedom, and you know, I love listening to music when I drive, and I started driving this little Jeep Renegade. Now I drive a minivan, and I thought that was going to be scary, but it's not. And you know, you can do it. You don't have to be embarrassed or feel ashamed or any of those things, you know, and don't let anybody try to make you feel bad. Because you got this. That's all I'm trying to say, is like, you got this. If you're trying to get your license and you're older, don't give up. You can do it. I promise you. Just don't let your fear stop you. Don't let that little voice tell you can't. And give yourself some grace too, because if you're like me, you're gonna fail a few times, but it's okay. As long as you get back up, keep fighting. Okay? Alright, guys. That's just my little story I wanted to share with you, and you know, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know there's a lot of things going on, but that's how it is when you have kids. It's never still. But anyways, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day, okay? And as I said, if you're working on your license, go on. You've got this, okay? Bye.